Welcome back to more Midnight Decoy Noise, where we're covering more Am I the Antagonist episodes in Am I the Antagonist for telling my boyfriend's mother she raised an effing sociopath who needs to be in a facility? So as I said before, we're doing special episodes of Midnight Decoy Noise where I'm recording super late at night. Further, DecoyNoise is gone, but I'm just trying to not be the antagonist to all my neighbors and be somewhat quiet when I record this talk show that we're doing now. But let's go ahead and get into the story. So OP wrote, I, a 26-year-old female, have a boyfriend, a 24-year-old male, and recently he got into a dispute with the neighbor's kids. They accidentally kicked their football into our yard, and they came into the garden to get it back. To be honest, I didn't care, but my boyfriend started screaming at these 11-year-olds about how they are poorly raised and their parents should be ashamed. I was effing mortified. I sent the kid some chocolates and sweets and apologized profusely for his behavior. I was seeing red flags and told him this behavior was not normal. He kind of pushed me off, and I told him if he pulled anything like that again, he was gone. The next week, the ball came into our garden, and as I was about to throw it back to the kids, my boyfriend stormed outside and took the ball inside. I told the kids I would bring it back in a minute. He went into the bathroom and emerged 10 minutes later, wearing gloves and a football covered in crap. In his own crap. What the heck? I asked him if he was out of his effing mind, but he stormed past me and threw it over the fence, screaming, "Take that, you jerks." I screamed, and screamed at him about he was a effing bad guy, and I wanted him out of my house, and he's a disgusting effing monster, and that they were just kids. I screamed, and eventually he left. I deleted all of his games off his PS4 and gave it to the kids as an apology. I was embarrassed. My ex-boyfriend's mom messaged me asking what happened, and I responded with, "What happened? What happened? You are a pathetic excuse of a woman who raised an effing sociopath who covered a football in his own crap and threw it at some kids, and he needs to be in a facility because something is wrong with him, and God knows how I hadn't seen any red flags about the effing monster you raised during the 7 months we dated. I know I'm in the right for what I did to my boyfriend, but am I in the wrong for snapping at the mother for something that she had no direct involvement in?" So as always, you gotta take the case right over to, here we go, right over to Decoy Court, where I give you my knee-jerk reaction as to what's going on in this situation right now. And I guess first off, I'll say that I'm really not going to talk about the issues the boyfriend has, because, the whole beyond Reddit's pay grade, though. But I mean, it just, if that's what he's willing to do to some kids kicking a football into his yard, I'd shudder to think about what he would do to my video if he saw me sitting here just talking trash about him for 15 minutes straight. So let's just go ahead and just only go at OP right now. And were they really justified in essentially snitching the boyfriend's activity back to the mom? And, yeah, it's probably necessary for OP to tell the mother what the boyfriend did, because it's pretty extreme and probably is something that needs to be addressed, especially if the boyfriend's moving back home with her. But calling her mother you're a pathetic excuse of a woman, whoa, that's pretty harsh. Yeah, she did raise a little monster, but why is she so upset at the boyfriend that she needs to attack the mother? It's almost kind of aligned with the idea that the boyfriend has something really deep rooted, and so there's something deeper going on with the boyfriend that they need to attack the neighbors over football. It's kind of the same thing where she's got to attack the mother, but maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. But, I guess I can already see it in the idea that, she was mad at what the boyfriend did, so she decided to reprimand him by, deleting his PS4 games and, Robin Hooding them to the kids. I don't know. To me, I say, Detective Decoy says this as, everyone sucks here. Everyone really sucks, because, obviously the boyfriend sucks for very, very obvious reasons right now. But, I'd say OP sucks for making it less about the boyfriend and more about the mother. The interaction with the mother, it almost seems a little bit unnecessary, unless it was just a factual thing, hey, this is what happened, you need to address this, because I'm out. But the boyfriend's 24 years old, so for all we know, he hasn't lived with the mom in the last 6 years, so he could have changed way different. And not to, I guess the decoy defense is, I have heard of situations where someone goes through a traumatic brain injury, or they even have a brain aneurysm, and it just drastically changes their personality, and they really don't know why or how. So obviously the decoy defense is about defending people that are oftentimes indefensible, but maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's what's going on. So I don't know. But if you're enjoying the content and you're enjoying the very smooth silkiness of a midnight decoy noise, make sure you subscribe down below. Make sure you have the notifications on, and then also go to DecoyNoise.com. You can ask me anything once we hit that 3,000 subscriber mark, and then also you can do more suggestions for the channel. I do some user suggested videos and all that everything. But we'll take a short break right now, give you guys a chance to give your feedback on this post right here. Then we're going to go over and cover some of those top comments and the controversial comments, because those are always much more fun. But The top comment is, "You're the antagonist for blaming a grown adult's mother for his behavior." Very true, very true. And the next reply is, "Why is his mom messaging his ex-girlfriend?" But I could see why that's a thing right there, because if, I'm not a parent, but it's like, if my son was living with a girl and all of a sudden they had a big argument and the son moved back home with me, and obviously I don't think he's going to go back to his parents and give them the exact play-by-play of him covering a football with poo and throwing it at like the neighbors like that. I don't think he's saying that. He's probably going to say like some, cleaned up version of the story and then make himself look like the good guy. So then the mom's like, me as that father in that rhetorical situation, I'm like, wait, what happened between the two of you? Why is he so angry? Why is he home? Like, why did you guys break up? I thought you were good together. And then she's gonna say like, yeah, this is why he's a sociopath. And maybe she was still heated with the idea that she still has to live next to those kids, and now that he's gone, it's probably like tarnished her reputation in the neighborhood. Like, whoa, she does not know how to pick them. But let's go ahead and read on and see what else they're saying. He said, "The mom might have been the one to manage his emotions before her, so when he was kicked out, it was right back to mom." And that would be the one thing, is maybe that's valid for the mother to want to know what the kid was up to, what the son was up to, because they need to figure out, like, are they back to their old antics? What are they doing? All that sort of thing. So let's go ahead and read the next reply. "You're the antagonist for sending the message, because I'm sure she would have maybe understood how angry you were if you came across nicer. But wow, I can't even imagine being in your position. Has he done anything like this before?" And then the edit was, "I did not mean that OP is the antagonist for the entire situation. It's a very soft, you're the antagonist. Sorry for any confusion." And the one thing is, it should have been, I think, a everyone sucks here judgment, but maybe they just don't know about that. But then we did get OP coming back to say, reply saying, "No, I always thought he was calm. Maybe it came completely out of the blue." So that's one thing that I would say, is maybe with the whole, the lockdown situation or losing his job, maybe he's really, really wound up, because that's what it almost seems like when people, oftentimes, like if I'm, at a shopping mall or something and I see somebody yelling at like the poor cashier, some person, or they're yelling at somebody that's like manning a line over in front of a grocery store, and they're getting uppity about it, and I'm like, how out of control is your life that you don't feel that you you are, I don't have a synonym for out of control, but how out of control do you feel that you need to be taking all your rage and emotions out on somebody that can't fight you back? That's like essentially, me punching a little kid, where it's like, oh yeah, I know you can't punch me back, and then when you're yelling at an adult at their job, you're like, I'm gonna yell at you because I know you can't yell at me back right now because you're at your job and you you're defenseless, and that's what it kind of seems like. It's like, so is there something else going on in this world that he needs to start picking on defenseless people? Maybe work is really hard, maybe he got laid off, or maybe he doesn't know what he's going to do with his education is going to come back, or something like that. So it does seem like this is it's a bit strange. Maybe he doesn't know how to handle stress, which is also a red flag as well. But let's go ahead and read a reply to that, saying, "It could also be worth trying to seek a medical opinion, as there could be other issues here." And that's kind of something I alluded to before. I said, for a 7-month relationship, I would just leave. And the one thing that would be a thing is, like, let's say he had a stroke. I'm not a medical person, but I'm saying, let's say he had a stroke overnight, and now he has brain damage, which just changes his personality. It's like, if they're in a 7-month relationship, yeah, it's short, but they were living together, and depending on how close they were, it might be worth saying, like, okay, they're not going to be together anymore because he's like damaged, but maybe he does need to seek medical help. Maybe he does need some sort of like intervention, or someone like, what's it? I'm gonna get it all wrong. It's not an MRI. Is it an MRI? Let me know in the comments section down below. When they scan your brain, is that an MRI? Because maybe I just look like an idiot. But let's go ahead and read one more top comment saying, "Everyone sucks here. Your ex, he's a madman. And yeah, I'm all for dumping his butt and kicking him out of your house, but his PS4 was not yours to give away. And to be honest, while it's possible that the mother did a terrible job raising him, you yelled at her and berated her for stuff her grown adult son did. That's super uncalled for." And I believe that right there. The whole like Robin Hooding his video games a way to make up for this situation. It just seems like, I don't know, I would classify it as an overreaction. And I'm big on, like, once you dump somebody, once you break up, it's over. Just go your separate ways and, call it for what it is. But the whole, like, yelling at the mother too, it seems like it's a bit much. But I could also see why she has such high emotions right now, because this was a big deal. But let's go ahead and read the next reply saying, she paid for the PS4. Yeah, it's her PS4. She can delete the game. She can do all that stuff. She can do whatever she wants to do with that stuff because it's hers. But, I'm still kind of like, the top comments sometimes give us a bit of perspective and makes us change our mind, but I feel like it just reinforced what we already kind of are assuming, like everyone sucks here. But maybe we can get some, controversial comments that are going to make us change our mind, because the first controversial comment was not the antagonist. So let's go ahead and say, his mother most likely enabled his behavior, and she has no business messaging you, especially when it was only a 7-month relationship. And here's the thing, though, is you don't know what the kind of relationship they had at all. The idea that, it's only a 7-month relationship. Well, it's like, I've dated people where it's like we dated for a month and they met my parents, and I've dated people where we dated for like, I don't want to put myself on blast, but I've dated people a very long time and just you don't need to meet my parents. It's fine. So it's like, the bit of, I always seem to disagree with people online when they do like a bit of projection where it's like, well, my relationship's like this, so your relationship has to be the same way there too. So let's go ahead and read the next response saying, not the antagonist, and that's it. And the other, okay, so here's a fire emoji reply that was controversial. So they're saying, what the actual F is wrong with everyone here? Not the antagonist, not the antagonist, not the antagonist. Why is a grown man's mother contacting you to ask why you dumped him? Your reaction was completely justified. And here's the thing is, like, it's okay for them to say, like, yeah, why are they asking you? But I don't know. I've had good relationships with ex-girlfriends' parents, and I've had like good communication. And honestly, I could see them, like, if me and the girl broke up, I could see them reaching out to me directly, like saying, hey, what happened? If, like, we broke up, she went home and she was just crying every day or something. And then I could see them like reaching out to me. So I don't think this is a totally like unjustified thing that an ex-girlfriend would reach out to someone that they were dating for long enough where they moved in together during a a lockdown like this. Like, it would make sense. It would make sense to me. So let's go ahead and read one. And you know what? Actually, before I will add one. Oh wow, I'll add one more thing to that. The idea that if she went through and gave away all his video games, deleted all his stuff and everything, he's also really, really angry at like neighbor kids for kicking a football over his fence. I imagine he went back home to mommy and daddy and said things like, she was so wrong. Oh, I'm gonna paint her in a bad image, like, and make me look like the good guy, like she's crazy. So it would make sense for the mother, a concerned mother, to be like, hey, what happened here? But let's go ahead and read one more top controversial comment saying, not the antagonist. People are overwhelmingly products of nurture, not nature. I don't know what she did while raising him, but she effed up bad. So glad you dumped him. So I just have a hard time seeing this as a valid thing, saying you're not the antagonist. So, like, I don't know. When you talk about things like serial murderers and stuff, it's like, what kind of childhood did they have? Was this, was it that? Like, oftentimes they're like, oh yeah, it's because they're a victim of, this happened in their childhood, so it made them this way. And like, with like superhero books, you always hear about like, their origin story and everything. So I feel like we're kind of programmed in a way to be like, oh yeah, if the kid is super messed up, it's obviously something happened with the parents. But what about this very, very rare instance of which the Decoy defense keeps on trying to push right now, where it's, hey, maybe he had an aneurysm, maybe he had a stroke, maybe he hit his head really hard. Because I've actually personally seen that. I'm not gonna dox anybody, but I've personally seen that, where you had a guy that was a really nice guy, gets in a horrendous car accident, and it made him moodier, it made him more irritable, it just made him kind of like, he's the same person, but he was just very like short-tempered after that. And it's like, it wasn't his fault. Like, you feel bad for him because he was a more than reasonable guy, and still kind of was, but it's just a very like, short fuse and a hair trigger. And it's just like, what if that was the same thing? He's going through a medical episode right now, and we need to say, okay, you know what, it's very rare that would actually happen, so let's go ahead and just blame the mom. You were the terrible person. Let me blast you online and on via text message and attack you too because I'm upset or something. It's just, I don't really see that as being a justifiable thing, but maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. Earn yourself the Decoy coin, as always, by giving me some feedback in the comment section, letting me know what you think. As always, make sure you subscribe down below with the notifications on, because as we've gone into the midnight Decoy noise, where my uploads aren't as frequent and they're kind of shorter and everything, I'm just trying to make it work desperately right now. It seems that the YouTube algorithm has just totally punished me. They blasted me from out of orbit. I barely get any views anymore. But I mean, hopefully there's still some, very loyal DecoyNoise followers that are watching my videos and still enjoying the content. So as always, if you're watching all this stuff, I really do appreciate you hanging out with me still. I know that there are a couple people that still watch all my videos and they comment on everything, and I very, very much appreciate you hanging out with me. But as always, if you like this, go ahead and put this on autoplay and watch the next episode of DecoyNoise coming up next.